Okay. So today we start with the next topic that is based on our networks. Easy, interesting, and very much relevant because nowadays networking is something which we are doing all the time with our mobiles. We are on networks, isn't it? So we just need to know the details. There are a lot of small concepts in this. Then you have a lot of full forms which are there in the exam from this chapter. And one big practical based question is there, case based question is there at the end, but that we can only do once we have done all the concepts in the chapter. Okay, so that will not be there in this exam because I'm going to take 3 topics mainly from this particular chapter, this exam, which talks about the introduction of the networks. Then we do the various types of networks. Then we do the topologies, and then we do the devices. And the concerning concepts, whatever I feel that you should know in between, I'll discuss that. Okay, so let's start. Now, talking about a network, I basically mean the connection. When you have multiple computers together and I want to speak to each other. If I talk about a general network, it is that it could be a network of human beings also. It could be a network of, machines also. It could be a network of humans also. I mean, that's what I want to say, that social networking is basically when you're socializing. The network purpose is to socialize. It could be for any purpose. But what we are talking about here is the computer network only, which is that I am connecting my computers together in order to do something. Now, what is that doing? These are the things which we try to do. Think yourself that if you are having a network, which could be an internet also, or it could be a local network also. By local network, I mean that in my computer lab, where I'm not connecting to the internet, but I'm able to communicate from one system to the other, which could be third floor lab resource room to basement lab resource room. That's also a network, though I might not be using internet there in order to connect. So that's a local network, which I call as a local area network. Okay. Now we have to keep in mind that what is the purpose, general purpose. Now I understand that I am connecting to a machine to share data. I want to send something to Dolly ma'am, so I'll just put it on the network and Dolly ma'am will be able to see. So sharing the data, that's the first point. Second is sharing the computer peripherals, which is very, very significant. I have a centralized printer in my school, which is there in principal ma'am's office. And from any lab, from any place in the school, I should not say any, but till where we have provided the network, I'm able to give the print commands. Okay. So it is very, very significant that the network is helping me to share one peripheral device, one hardware device. That could be printer, which is the most common thing which I do in a network. Then it also could be some CD drives, which I put on one system and from there I share it. Access is there to all the machines, but the drive is there. Like, okay, the players are there everywhere, but writers, CD writers, I put at one place only. I don't put it on every machine. It's not required unnecessary extra addition of peripheral because every time I'm not writing a CD. So the writers I put in the some specific systems. Okay. So that way I can share my computer peripheral also. Thirdly, it is going to help me improvise on my speed. How come speed? I want to share something or send something to my boss sitting in Bombay office. Now, rather than me going there all the way, I spend a lot of money and I spend time also. I take a flight, go there, and I spend a lot of time there doing so. Okay, it'll take time. But I just send a mail and my work is done. So any network, computer network I'm talking about, it is also letting me improvise on my communication speed. And how accuracy? Me going there, reciting my boss's message to, the head office person might lead to some kind of a controversy that you said something, I understood something, but the person who was sending the message said actually something else. Right? So that way, if I am sending directly the written material to him, accuracy. There's no change of data. There is no confusion. Right? And of course, cost of transfer is reduced. because instead of me going to Bombay, spending so much money on travel and hotel and everything, my email will not cost me anything as such, other than the internet connection, which I am paying on monthly basis, and I'm using it for 100 other things. Fine. So the first question which is asked in the board paper is something related to purpose of the network. They could ask in direct terms, what is the purpose of establishing a network? Or they could ask that give us 2 examples where you're sharing the computer peripherals in a network. Or how do you think that the cost of transfer is reduced if I establish a network? So you have to give instances, examples. So keep examples in mind as per the question. I've given you certain examples. You can give that also. You can give any of your choice. Relevant ones, of course. Okay. First, we talk about the various kinds of network I have. Okay. Now, here I would like to tell you one thing, which is very, very specifically to be remembered, that when you talk about a network as such, any network for that matter, I have to talk in various terms. Number one, purpose. I've just now discussed that. Second, how are you establishing it? It's in a room, it's in a building, it's across 2 buildings, it is in a city, it is across 2 countries. What kind of a network are you setting? What kind of channel, communication channel are you setting up? It's like fiber optics channel, it is through satellite, it is through telephone cables. What kind of channel are you setting up? Then what kind of connecting device are you using? Because a network comprises of a lot of things, right? It's not only just 2 computers. It is that some features are supposed to be within the computer also. Network card nahi hai, so it will not work on a LAN setup. Then the wires also are required in order to communicate, connect basically, or some kind of wireless mechanism is required. Then you talk about the speed of the network, you talk about a lot of things. So it's not just connecting, it talks about a lot of things. Now, when you are getting a case-based question in the exam, you have to read the question very, very carefully, that what exactly is he asking? He's not going to ask everything in one question. He only asks about usability of a network, or he asks about, this is a scenario, what kind of network is established, or he gives you some scenario and asks you, what is the best suitable communication channel? Is it satellite in this scenario? Is it radio waves? It is microwaves? It is fiber optics? It is coaxial cable? What kind of communication channel do you think best suits this situation? Keeping cost also in mind. Okay. So they will ask you one aspect of that. What should be the connecting device in this scenario? So every answer is not LAN WAN. Every answer is not router. Okay. Which we see in the class 12 board exams answer sheets. कुछ भी पूछा हो, they start answering the same word. कि ऐसा ही कुछ होगा. It's not that. So we talk in terms of various aspects of a network one by one. Okay. The first being the type. Now the type basically focuses on your geographical area mainly. And when the geographical area varies, your type also varies. Within a room, within a building, within 2 buildings, within a city at a distance of 50 kilometers, within 2 states, within 2 countries, within 2 continents. Accordingly, the type of network varies. Okay, I hope that the term is clear. Now, when I say a local area network, I mean to a limited geographical area. How much and what, where, we'll discuss in detail. Metropolitan area is within the city, within. Please focus here on the 2 terms, inter and intra. Intra-city, intercity. ISBT is intercity state bus, means Delhi to UP. But I'm not talking about intercity. I'm talking about intra-city, within the city. Okay. Inter-house, within houses. Intra-house, within one house itself. Okay. So when you talk about city is your geographical boundary, man. Wide area network has no geographical boundary as such. It could be across continents, across states, across countries, whatever. Personal area network is completely within my household or within my 2 devices, my phone to my laptop. My phone or my laptop to my printer, my phone to my TV. Completely personal. No outsider is coming into that. That's the briefest possible explanation of all these four situations. Let's get into the details a little more. Okay, the first one being LAN. Oh, now LAN basically, I said just now, a small geographical area. A very, very small geographical area within the computer lab, within two labs, within two rooms, within a building, like my ground floor connected to the first floor LAN, first floor connected to the second floor LAN. Local area within a small geographical area. Okay. This particular connectivity is also called as your Ethernet LAN. The word Ethernet is the technology being used in the LAN setup, the most common technology being used in the LAN setup. And hence I also call it Ethernet LAN. So if you see the term Ethernet in the exam, don't get confused. They're talking about LAN. Ethernet I'll never use for WAN or PAN or something else. So Ethernet, whenever I'm using Ethernet connection ka details batao, I'm talking about LAN. Okay. So that's basically about my LAN. I've given an example here. A library will have a wired or a wireless LAN. Nowadays, we have wireless LAN options also for user to connect my local devices, printers and servers, and even connect to the internet. From the LAN, once my LAN is connected completely, I can take that LAN's data to internet through the router. I'm coming to that a little later. Okay. Now here, there's one more term which is very, very important and significant from exam point of view and for your knowledge purpose also, servers. Okay, server and client. These two terms are again very, very important, asked numerous times in the CBSE exam. What is a web server? What is the purpose of a server? What is the connection between server and client? Whichever way they try to put it, but this is a very, very significant question. Fine. Proper definition, definitely you'll get it in your book and I'll send you the notes and it's there in the PPTs also. But in general, even if you type in this line that server is somebody who provides services. Being a web server, it provides web services to me. And to me means to the client. So in a client server technology, server is the person who is answering all the questions of the clients. Okay. I am sharing resources with my server also, like the client machine doesn't have a hard disk. He doesn't have a printer. It is all connected to the server. The client is doing his work via the server, getting access of OS from the server. उसके पास hard disk नहीं है, उसके पास OS भी नहीं है. ठीक है ना? He just has the startup, ROM is there, RAM is there, then he connects to the server's this thing, hard disk, gets the data from there, OS, launch करता है उसको, and then uses it. Am I using a server in my computer lab? Anybody in the school? What do you think? Am I using a server there? Come on, give me an answer. Am I using a server? Is it a client server technology used in our labs in school? Random. Yes or no? What do you think?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay. It's technically no. We are not using a server technology in the lab. My individual machines are connected to the LAN, and through the router, I'm connecting to the internet if required. Otherwise, my LAN is working. I can access from one system to the other through the LAN. But there is no server. My machines are independent, intelligent machines. And I also call these machines as, again, a very important term, nodes, workstations. So a normal PC can be an independent PC, but cannot connect to the network or not connected to the network. My desktop, my PC, my laptop. Okay, I will call it a node when it is part of the network. Same machine only. Mera hi PC, mera hi laptop will be given the term node, N-O-D-E, in a network. So network mein hum log generally when I'm drawing a diagram and labeling my computers there, I will not call them as my PC or laptop or computer, whatever. I'll call them as a node. So when a machine connects to the network, I either call them a node or a workstation. Workstation is basically a machine which has the capability to connect to the network. अगर मेरे machine में LAN card नहीं है तो वो network पे connect नहीं हो सकता. So I will never call it a workstation. So workstation is a system which has the capability to connect to the network. Okay. But my question was that whether my lab is having a server or not, and I'm saying no, I don't have a server. That means I can create a LAN without a server also. It's not essential to have a server for a LAN. Okay. My main thing is that I have my machines and my machines are connected. Individually, they are talking to each other. They're not talking through a server. They are not talking through a server. They are not taking services from any server. No. सर्वर का पर्पस क्या है कि वो उसका डेटा भी स्टोर करेगा, उसको सिक्योरिटी प्रोवाइड करेगा, एट टाइम्स उसको ओएस प्रोवाइड करेगा, बट ऐसा कुछ माय सिस्टम्स आर नॉट डूइंग इन द लैब. एम आई क्लियर विद दिस कंसेप्ट? सो इट्स नॉट लैन है तो ही सर्वर है. नो. एम आई क्लियर? शो मी अ थम्स अप दैट यू आर अवेयर, अवेक. I'm waiting. Thank you, Jaskaran. Thank you, Andrea. Okay. So, server is somebody who provides services like Google server. I go to browser. Browser is behaving as my client. I'm the client using the browser. Through the browser, I'm connecting to the Google server. I'm putting a question to him. He's providing me the answer. So he is my web server providing services. I'm the client getting the services. Simplest answer which you can give. जिसमें उसको number देना पड़ेगा. He can't cut it. There are technical terms also. But itna bhi if you write, it's correct. It's not wrong. Okay. Let's move further. So that's my LAN. Ethernet LAN also is the same thing, or LAN as I call. Okay. I'm showing you a diagram with the server. But if I don't put a server here, I just put a connecting device. Like in the lab, when you come next time, I'll show you. At the corner of the lab, you know, you'll find a black, grayish black colored box, a big glass box that has all the LAN cables coming and getting connected to the connecting device. A person who's responsible to take the data from one machine and transfer to the other. It's not a server. It's just a connecting device, which is also called as a hub or a switch. We'll learn about these devices. Okay. Otherwise, the connectivity can be through a server also. There's no problem. एक नोड सर्वर पे भी, सर्वर का भी उस हब पे लगा दो, so ठीक है, सर्वर से भी कनेक्शन हो रहा है, सर्वर से भी बात होगी. Next comes the little features, because they use these features to tap you in the MCQs. Okay, which is the LAN which is can be extended up to 1 kilometer. LAN, MAN, PAN, you know, they'll give these options. So it is LAN. Data transfer rate varies from 10 Mbps to 1000 Mbps also, gigabits also. Nowadays you have Gbps speed. Data transfer rate is basically the speed. Okay, so they can give you this question also, unit of measurement of data transfer rate, or unit of measurement of the speed of a network. So you answer in terms of Mbps or Gbps. Okay, it's not megabytes per second, mind it, it is megabits per second. It's not bytes, it is bits. One mistake which is very common in the exams, we see. It's not megabytes, it's megabits. Okay. Obviously, if it is, if I'm talking about Ethernet. Now, okay, one more thing. In data transfer rate, like I'm establishing a LAN. Now, if you see the varying speed, 10 Mbps to 1000 Mbps. You know, the range is too varying. Why? Can you tell me why? Itna difference kyun hoga? What will create this difference? What do you think? Is it the geographical area? Like एक room में होगा तो it will be faster. 2 rooms में होगा तो it will be slower. Across the building होगा तो it will be even slower. Is it dependent on the area coverage or something else? Tell me.
Maybe the load on the device, the connecting device.
Excellent, excellent. Load on the connecting device. So if I'm connecting 40 machines or I'm connecting 10 machines, it will make a difference, definitely. One thing. Anybody else? Can you think of what will define the speed? What factors define the speed? Okay. The factors which define the speed is definitely one, which is your the point what Jaskaran is saying, the load on the connecting device. But if your connecting device is good enough, so that good enough is not only for the connecting device applicable, your good enough is applicable even for the LAN wires. अगर आपका LAN wire का capacity भी differ करता है, fiber optic लोगे तो बहुत first class speed you'll get in terms of Gbps. You take a coaxial cable, you will not get Gbps, but still coaxial cable maybe I'll send you a tabular thing later because utna detail as such exam mein nahi chahiye, but you should know. In that thing, I'll tell you that, there are different names of cables. 10 base 5T, 100 base 5T, like that. Which defines कि कितने किलोमीटर्स तक या कितने मीटर्स तक वो क्या स्पीड देगा आपको. Okay, so obviously if it is a better quality thing, it will be pricely. Fiber optic बहुत अच्छा होता है, it's pricely. Fiber optic में तो technology change हो जाती है. It is you are using the light technology to transfer in terms of the technology filter, but otherwise also the quality of the connecting device, and hence it will be able to either handle your load or not handle your load properly. Secondly, the category of your wire. If you are using a server, how much load is there on the server, and server का फिर RAM capacity कितना है, a lot of things in that case. Processor क्या है, अगर प्रोसेसर ही स्लो है तो फिर सब कुछ ही स्लो है आपकी मशीन का, है ना. बट नेटवर्क पे आपका, बिकॉज आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट द डिवाइस एंड आई एम टॉकिंग कनेक्टिंग डिवाइस एंड द वायर, देन उसका कैपेसिटी, एंड कैपेसिटी वाइज यू हैव डिफरेंट वायर कैटेगरीज ऑल्सो इन ईथरनेट. Okay, I'm just talking about LAN here, not your wide area LAN. Fine. It's owned by a single organization and is not subject to tariffs. So I have my own LAN. मैं अपने घर में भी 4 कंप्यूटर लगा के I can run a business. I don't have to pay any tariff to anybody because it's my own personal LAN. Okay, until unless I'm connecting to internet or I'm using the internet services, there's no tariff involved. Then it provides email and other communication services in office systems. You can have a common setup to send emails within the organization. Then you can have resources being shared. That is very, very important. The terminals, the computers, the printers, all those things. So those are the basic features of the LAN. Next is I increase my geographical area and go to my MAN, which I said is intra-city, within the city, not intercity. Please check out this term. Inter is like ISBT se yaad rakhna, interstate. So across states. It is intra-city, within. Inter-class competition, intra-class. Inter-class means 12C is having a competition within the 12C students only. But inter-class is 12C having a 12D, 12C having a 12B. Okay, remember like that. So when I have multiple LANs, so I'm like trying to connect. I have a LAN set up in Anand Niketan. I have a LAN set up in Mount Carmel, Dwarka. Now, if I try to connect these two, what will I do? I'll set up my own, through internet only it will happen, but I'll set up my own MAN. Okay, so those MANs are larger than LANs, but smaller than the wide area network. A wide area to becomes too wide, but in a span of entire city, I might have, 3-4 locations, offices and all. And I want to have a personalized network of all those people. Apna. Like you can say university. Amity University has got 4 locations, 4 centers. So they have a own network of their own. That kind of a setup within a city will be called as a MAN. They are extremely efficient and provides fast communication via high-speed carriers such as fiber optics. So they lay their own fiber optics and have this connection being established. Covers a city or a town. Cable TV network or cable-based broadband internet services is one of the major examples of MAN. The cable TV connection आपके घर पे आ रहा है. Up to 30-40 kilometers you can extend it, and it is basically LANs को आप connect कर सकते हो. अपने end का LAN with somebody else का LAN is connected together. You will not connect one machine here. The main thing is that you will not connect one machine in Anand Niketan to one machine in Dwarka. I mean, you can, but more you can say practical example would be that you connect a LAN in Anandiketan. You have to a LAN in Dwarka School. It will be a LAN setup. Individual तो हम लोग नहीं करेंगे, फोन पे बात कर लेंगे, फोन पे ट्रांसफर कर लेंगे, है ना? So no use. That's how it is. Like you can say you have a warehouse, you have a factory, you have a regional branch office and a central office, and I establish a man within that. So again, it's generally within an organization. उसके अलग-अलग setups में. Coming to the third one, which is my wide area network. Now it's broad geographical area, one city to another, one country to another, and telephone lines get through, then connecting to satellite. We do these transfers, which is mainly you can see that we are using internet nowadays. Right, through the internet, I am establishing these connections. Characteristics of WAN: larger area, lesser cost, because you are sharing the load with other people. You are not really establishing your WAN. For example, I take the services from an ISP, internet service provider. What are the internet service providers in Delhi or in my country for that matter?
Jio.
Yes, Jio is one. Then Airtel is one. VI is one.
MTNL.
MTNL is one. I don't think वो चलता है आजकल, but हाँ, I had a connection with MTNL once. But these are there. That's what it is. ठीक है ना? So they are using this particular feature. इसलिए वो lesser cost ज़्यादा, because you are not establishing the entire infrastructure required for the WAN. They have established big companies and then you take one portion of it. तो वो तुमको एक line allocate कर देता है through which you communicate. Okay. Internet is the largest WAN available. Institution organizations connect their different branches across world. But maybe no organization will have their own private WAN. हो भी सकता है वैसे. But generally they use the internet feature only to connect. Otherwise, it's a huge establishment cost. Normal situations will not be able to do it. Okay. Now again, one question typically can be asked. So out of these portions we see situation and they ask you what type of network it is. One category of question. Second, web server, web client, purpose of that. Third, this kind of a descriptive question, LAN and WAN difference. Okay, but please don't write paragraphs and paragraphs in these kind of answers. I've highlighted these three things. So you kind of answer in a tabular manner in these terms. Distance के terms में, like geographical area के terms में, speed के terms में, और error rate के terms में. That's enough. It will not be more than a 2 marker and one example of situation. So 4 points and your answer is done. So I know distances में, how does LAN and WAN differ? Speed में, how does LAN and WAN differ? Okay. And error rates, we obviously will shorter the smaller the network, less of errors. That is a very common thing. जितना बड़ा होगा उसमें और ज्यादा congestion है तो और ज्यादा error होने का chances है. So we don't see much of that now. They're improving. The last one is my, and the smallest one. I should have done this first. PAN, personal area network. Okay. Best way to understand is the kind of setup we have at our home. And I mean, not at our home, it can be anywhere. Like I connect through Bluetooth my laptop to my phone. Okay. Or my phone to my printer. Best example possible. So PAN is a network, computer network organized around an individual person. इसमें organization is not involved. इसमें anything else is not involved. It's my personal setup. It typically involves a mobile computer, a cell phone, or a handheld device. Like I have a tab, I have a laptop, I have a PC, and I have a phone. So I'm using to transfer files. Aajkal we have got certain apps also in phone, My Transfer, or ऐसे कुछ apps हैं which helps us do it. Or directly Bluetooth के through you can transfer. Okay. It can be wired also. हम लोग generally wired आजकल use नहीं करते. We have Bluetooth for the wireless connection only. But it can be wired too. I'm not able to think of a situation where I've used it for wired. Anybody has used it for wired? Wired connection in a PAN setup like phone to laptop? Oh yeah, we use that USB cable to do it, no? Like camera, say I do it from the camera to my machine. USB cable I use to transfer.
Yes, ma'am, to transfer data sometimes.
Yes. The photographs and all we transfer. Na? So that's a wired PAN. It's a network being established. Okay, communication is happening. But it is a personal network. And
Laptop
wireless.
to monitor.
Yes. That also I do. And again, the most common one for wireless connection is Bluetooth. I can think of that. You might have some other technologies because some child was saying there's something called something being used for my non-Android devices. Maybe there are certain things which we use, but basic channel
AirDrop.
being right, correct. What is the name?
AirDrop.
AirDrop. Is AIR drop or EAR drop?
AIR.
This is what one of my students of it is saying the same. So different technologies have come, but Bluetooth becomes my typical channel to transfer. Okay. So that's about my type of network. Basic introduction. And I've told you where all you will get the questions from. I have 2 minutes here to finish up this round. We'll have another round, please. So be there. Fine. Basic questions of based on need. Okay. Direct question ho sakta hai, what is the need of networking? Second could be, how do you think that network helps in sharing of computer files or sharing of computer peripherals or reduces my transfer cost? So you have to give instances. Okay. I've discussed instances also. How does it reduce cost? Me going from here to Mumbai obviously is more costly than me transferring the data through email. Okay. That way, instances they ask. One question. Second, even full forms are there in MCQs. And you will not believe बच्चा उसको भी गलत कर देते हैं कभी बार. ठीक है? So read the full forms correctly and answer accordingly. So that is one thing. Then you have in general, they can say describe LAN also. It can be that name. Or what is more expected is they give you a situation and you are asked to select whether it's a LAN or a MAN or a WAN. So you have to know the basic features of it. Like one feature is 1 kilometer के अंदर कौन सा होगा? LAN. Fine. Personal level पे कौन सा होगा? Not involved in any organization. PAN. Speeds के बारे में they can ask. Full forms of Mbps, Gbps they can ask. Then data transfer rate का measuring unit क्या है? Direct one marker can be asked. All these things can be asked from here. Then in MAN generally, kilometers. So again they will say 1 kilometer कौन सा है? 30 to 40 kilometers कौन सा है? Which network is connecting multiple LANs? It's MAN. Okay. These kind of questions can be there. So understand. No need to mug up. इसमें ऐसा कोई definition बहुत बड़ा सा answer कुछ नहीं है. But you should understand that how it works. Okay. Then you have the basic difference of LAN WAN. As I said, do it in these 3 terms. And which channel can be used for my PAN? So you have Bluetooth. Can it be